Hello, and welcome back to another exciting car minisode of Transylvaniacs.
The show where we try to cover every Dracula-related project in a car from Dracula A to Dracula Z.
So Will and I are once again hanging out together. Last year we went to go see the ballet in Pittsburgh and recorded an episode in the parking garage, and you guys really liked it. So we have just been on a little field trip and figured we would do the same.
Yeah, coming to you live from Route 611 in Greater Pennsylvania, the Greater Philadelphia area.
Exciting. So today we went to the Vampa Museum, which is located in Doylestown, which is like 45 minutes from Philly. And do you want to give like a brief overview of like what the fuck we're talking about?
I would be delighted to. So Vampa is a museum dedicated to the history of fighting vampires and demons in the supernatural. It is in an old historic home in an old farmhouse outside of Doylestown, and it is filled with artifacts of demonology and vampire hunting. So we're talking vampire hunting kits. We are talking crucifixes that are also large knives. If you've ever wanted to see a hammer that was topped with with the image of the Lord on the cross, great news.
You can find that at the Vampa. But yeah, what was like a little surprising to me was that this museum, again, it's in this historic home and a barn, is also connected to like a giant antique store that has a lot of like wrought iron and like really big outdoor sculptures of like objectively goofy shit.
Yeah, there were a bunch of kangaroos on little wrought iron benches. They were not like, when I say this, it sounds like they're like sold together, like it is just sitting there. But no, they're just multiples of the same kangaroo on multiples of the same small wrought iron stool.
There's like the first thing you see when you pull up is a giant dinosaur. Actually, yeah, so we went with a friend of the podcast, Kay, who made us some great stickers that say Louis Jourdan Hate Club. So thank you for those.
Thank you so much.
And when they pulled up, they were like, hey, am I in the right place? Because all I see are dinosaurs for the Vampire Hunting Museum. But yeah, like an enormous amount of weird stuff outside, like weird skeleton chairs. It is kind of insane looking, and it's like this big outdoor garden that's kind of hard to navigate and walk around. And also there are like a half dozen loose peacocks.
Yeah, just kind of strutting about
And making insane noises. But yeah, so you go through all that and then you enter the actual museum. And like a little bit, I guess, about the museum is that, you know, there are some sections that, you know, this museum, which to be clear is just like one dude's thing.
Yes.
Like the guy who runs this museum, I believe his name is Edmundo Cremini, which is a fucking sick name.
What incredible. That's like a Castlevania character. Yep. It rules.
But like this is his project. He's like the curator. He's doing all of this stuff. So it's kind of half personal, mostly personal collection. And what did you said something great about like two types of museums earlier.
Yeah. So there are two types of museums that I love. You know, the first type is, you know, an art museum or a history museum that is really carefully curated, has a team that is putting things into its historic context that when it's at its best really makes you feel like you get a sense of the history and the culture that emanates from it. It transports you to somewhere different. And then my other type of museum that I love is just like, this one guy just has a bunch of weird stuff and he wants you to see it. And Vampa is that second type of museum.
Yes. This is just some guy's weird stuff. So the first room, which I think is probably the biggest, on all sides are mirrors, and then hanging over the mirrors are a variety of like vampire hunting equipment. So it's mostly stakes, but there were a couple, like there was an axe that you showed me.
Yeah.
Crazy looking. There is a crucifix that just has a giant fucking knife on it. Giant stakes. A lot of it looks like bedposts, actually. Like some of these are objectively too large for somebody to use. And
there is one that is like a sword that was like just like a full saw head, just like on a sword hilt, like just like fully just a bloodborne weapon.
Yeah, it is insane, and there's a lot of it. And like I feel like what is the cool thing about this particular museum is that there are just a huge amount of objects. And it is not that it's not curated, like there are themes to the rooms, but a lot of the stuff is just kind of like hung randomly or on the floor like randomly, and like you can walk around and look at all of it. And like I guess what like kind of the central question is like how much of this is authentic and how much of this is just like cool props that this guy has that are being passed off as authentic. And like we were saying there's like been a little bit of discourse about this place.
Yeah, so I've full disclosure, I've been here once before. Because of who I am as a person, when it was just opening up, it ended up in my social media algorithm pretty much immediately. And so I have been honed in on this place. I've done the trip before. And in searching it up recently on Instagram, I've started to notice that it's sort of like it's catching some flack from, I would say, like online witch or like online supernatural accounts that are really like kind of taking it to task or like calling it out for not really being authentic. They're claiming that a lot of the the artifacts that are in there are not true to the era in which they're not that they purport to be from. And that what it is presenting is not true historical fact of the supernatural and of vampires. And my counter argument is that to mount that argument, you are completely missing the point of this museum.
Yeah, like this is extremely campy and like kind of has roadside attraction energy, and I mean that in the most positive way possible.
Oh yes.
So like if you're rolling up to this and you're under the impression that you're going to see like real stuff, and like I do think there were some really nice artifacts in there like that were museum quality, but like it's kind of mixed in with other stuff. And like there are whole sections that have like kind of like Spirit Halloween kind of vibes where it says like this area is haunted, and like I think anybody who is normal is going to be like, oh, this is fun, it's kitschy, like obviously it's not haunted, like this is just some guy kind of doing half museum half haunted house.
Yes.
So I was a little confused to see that people were like actually mad at this dude, because I'm like, this is just like a Scooby-Doo villain having a good time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a huge amount of stuff, genuinely. It is the whole first floor of this giant historical building. Were there any like specific objects or bits and pieces that you wanted to point out that you liked?
Oh, let's see. One of my favorites is an axe that on its axe head has like a dude who is playing his nose that is also like a trumpet. It is very like sculpted in like a very like illuminated manuscript kind of way.
Yes.
I love that so much.
Yeah, that's a good piece. There were a couple of like marble, replica pieces that were really nice. There was a cool one of like a death with an hourglass kind of thing that I thought was really nicely done, and that whole section had just like tons of hourglasses everywhere. And again, it's just like it's really like really densely packed with stuff, which is fun because you can kind of like hone in on specific little objects. I liked that they had like a spread for some tarot cards, which was really cool.
Oh, that was great. Those, I mean, the art on display on those cards was phenomenal.
It's so beautiful. And then there's also like it's like a good mix of like actually cool stuff and like super goofy stuff. And like one of the like these objects are cursed sections, there was just like a giant clown.
Yeah, giant clown head.
And there's also some areas where you can like look into the wall, and they've actually got the object like embedded in the wall instead of in a frame or something, which is kind of cool. Outside there was a really, really horny fresco of Dracula, which we were very pleased about. I think I got a picture of that actually on my good camera because I felt the need.
We will be posting some images to the Instagram account for sure.
Because my goodness, are there images? Oh yeah, there was a cool Mary that had a skull for a face.
Yeah.
That was dope. Oh, and very importantly, Vincent Price's
Skeleton chair?
Skeleton rocking chair.
Yeah, it is like a chair that is shaped like a skeleton, but then also is like kind of has like the prow of a boat. And
it looks very similar to the like skeleton rocking chair meme, which I was really, really tickled by. Yeah, there's like a huge door that had all these crosses on it. It's a cool spot because there's a lot to look at if you go in with the right mindset. Like,
yes,
you have to be understanding that like a lot of this is like super silly, but there's also some genuinely neat stuff in there.
Yes, I think my argument to the people who have been taking it to task. One, what are you doing with your life? There's so many other things that you could be doing.
Go outside.
And two, you have to look at this less as like you're going to glean history from this, and you have to look at it collectively as a piece of folk art. You have to take it holistically as one unit where all of this is amounting to what does Edmondo like, and what is sort of his mentality, what are his beliefs, and it is all really a representation of that. There is something I love about it that is, it is heightened, but there's also a real earnestness to it. And I think that is what is compelling about this.
Yeah, this is something that somebody like clearly cares about a lot. And again, just like the sheer amount of objects, this is a lifetime of collecting these.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how he found so much stuff, and it also seemed like there were some pieces that were on loan to other museums. So like that, is cool.
I think if I'm not mistaken, I think there is a piece that was, I might be wrong in this. I know there is a vampire hunting kit that was at the Mutter Museum in Center City, Philadelphia, that I believe may have come from this collection. No, excuse me. It came from the Mercer Museum, which is also a museum of oddities that is in Doylestown. They are cornering the market on that here.
That's so funny.
What it also reminded me of, and this is a place I have to take you the next time you come out to Philly, there is a museum called the Great American Treasures Tour that is out in Oaks, PA. So near the convention center out there. And it is like it is like a floor of an old factory, I think like a tire factory or something, that is now just filled with movie posters, old like carnival music boxes, animatronic figures. The largest Gumby I've ever seen in my entire life. There is a wall of old Halloween masks because the Collegeville Halloween costume company used to be nearby, and they just bought a lot of the inventory when it went out of business. And they take you through it on a tram that has a guided it guides you through, and it is similar because it is it is mildly terrifying going through these hallways and seeing all these animatronics, and also it is fascinating. The lore of that place is that there is a rich benevolent donor who wishes to remain anonymous, who donated a lot of his collection.
Oh, cool.
But it is the same kind of thing. It is, you're using found objects, you're using cultural objects to paint a larger picture of a personality, whether they choose to come forth with who they are or not.
I love that. That's awesome. Have you ever been to Randyland in Pittsburgh?
No, I really want to go.
Okay, I'll take you to Randyland. It's all outdoors, but this is just a sweet old guy named Randy who has a like super colorful house that he has been painting for years, and then you were looking at his backyard, which has become again like a found object garden of stuff. And it's free, and he just seems like a sweet pea. But it's got kind of like a Ben and Jerry's flavor about it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a little hippie utopia. And it's right by the mattress factory. But yeah, I was also thinking something I liked about this a lot is that he would have like a lot of different versions of similar objects. Like he had a lot of trunks that were, you know, hunting kits, etc. I thought that was cool because it wasn't like this is a one-off thing. It was like, you know, here is what this type of work looks like. And I really like that. And then, you know, you leave and you go back out through this insane sculpture garden, and then there's like a huge antique mall.
Yeah, it is like a giant barn. Now, the last time I went there, you could go upstairs, and I sort of looked up the stairwell, and there was like a part that was curtained off. But the last time I was there was like an entire like a vicar's like a stall just from a church, just fully intact, that was up there for sale.
That's fascinating.
Which I don't even know how you get that in there, let alone how you get it out to sell it. But
and there were so many, we were saying that like usually antique malls, you know, there's like one-offs of things, but they must have gotten something from some sort of like wrought iron factory, because they had like dozens and dozens of the same object in wrought iron. It was really strange. And there were a lot of good little bits and pieces in there. And then something that again, you said earlier that should put you in the correct mindset for this about the owner.
Yeah. So as you go, you know, through the antique mall, if you head back towards the restrooms, you go through a series of hallways, and off of one of the hallways before you get to the bathrooms, is the owner's private dojo.
Yeah. That should just put this all into perspective for you. Like, you should... This guy is truly very eccentric, and I think anybody who is going out of their way to give him flack on Instagram for, like, being, like, a fake spiritualist or whatever, I'm like, you guys gotta go outside.
Yeah. It feels like trying to solve the most obvious mystery in the world.
Yeah, that's good. And you went to Salem recently, so, like, you've been to a lot of, like, museums of this nature, like oddity stuff.
I went back in September. And I went to, I think it's called, like, I'll put the correct name in the notes, but I think it's called, like, Count Orlok's Monster Emporium or something like that. And it is great. It is a series of hallways, and you go through, and it is like life-size, like wax models of famous movie monsters. They have like death masks for famous horror movie actors.
Cool. Oh, they did have a Boris Karloff.
Yeah, and
that was cool.
That was one of the things that really reminded me of it. But then they also had like, they had a full-size replica of the casket from the Eggers Nosferatu movie.
Cool.
Yeah, it is a delight. I love it. Before we started recording, I was telling Colleen that I am just like truly in the bag for anything that's like, hey, do you want to go through like a haunted house? It's going to be a couple rooms in a strip mall with some animatronics. We go, and I'm like, yes, I do. Sign me up, man.
Sign me up. And I will take that kind of haunted house. Like, I'm not a, like, like a Halloween Horror Nights gal. Like, I don't want to actually be scared. I want to see goofy shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Although apparently Halloween Horror Nights does a lot of themed stuff. They did like a Fallout one last year, which I think is kind of fun.
Oh yeah.
But like, I'm not looking to get chased around by some dude with a fake chainsaw. I'm looking to look at kooky shit, like the George Romero Museum, which is in the Monroeville Mall in Pittsburgh. That was awesome. They had a ton of props from the movies, and I thought that was really fun. Like that's what I'm into. You should go check that out too.
Another one, if the Cryptozoology Museum in Portland, Maine.
Oh,
this
hell
is
yeah.
somewhere I went a couple years ago with a friend of the show and former guest Chris Melville.
Yes.
Which is also a true delight. It's a lot of evidence of cryptids, but then there's also, a lot of pop culture stuff. At
Yeah.
one point, there's just, a full scale statue of the Gill Man from Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Cool.
The owners were just delightful people to talk to. Yeah. Anything that is of this kind of like that, I think that is all on a similar wavelength.
Yeah.
And I am here for all of it.
Same. That is extremely sweet. Is there anything else you want to add before we finish our little mini here?
No, but if you're in the market for a like knee-high wrought iron Betty Boop statue for like $60, brother, I've got the hookup for you.
There are 24 of them in the Antique Mall connected to the Vampa Museum. Thank you guys so much. We will catch you next time.
Bye.